Welcome to another episode of Action Video Game Talk. I'm your host, Scott Action Jackson. Thanks for joining me today, or tonight, or whenever you're watching or listening to this. Once again, we got a ton of video game news to go through because we've been piling them up and just try and get to them when we can, or when I can, sorry. So, let's hop right into this. The only Mega Man game without an X or the word soccer next to it, released for the Super Nintendo, is now available for Wii U, Mega Man 7. Physical copies of the game are hard come by. Currently, new copies of the game are worth about $2,000. Even non-new copies are valued at least $150. The game released on Friday for the Wii U Virtual Console. The release was a surprise considering Capcom has typically announced its intentions to release virtual consoles ahead of time, like it did with Mega Man X titles and the recent Battle Network games. Capcom also recently released Mega Man X4 and X5 to the PlayStation Network. Mega Man 7 is now on the Wii U by way of Virtual Console, which, as the news article right here states, it's expensive to try and find the actual Super Nintendo cartridge. So yeah, this is a nice little thing if people want to give it a shot that can't get the physical copy, but you can get the digital version on the Wii U. A new patent filing seems to indicate that Nintendo and the Pokemon Company are working on a new handheld system built specifically for Pocket Monsters. The patent filing was spotted by users at the popular video game message board NeoGAF. As you can see by the picture, the system appears to be a one-screen handheld with simplified controls. There are only A and B buttons. The patent also includes NFC functions that would allow use of Pokemon figures similar to Nintendo's new Amiibos. This patent was filed in March of this year, but only surfaced online recently. I don't quite understand why Nintendo would be doing something like this. Well, Nintendo and or the Pokemon Company. The last time there was any kind of separate portable system as far as Pokemon, as far as I remember, has been actually there's been a few things. I know that there was a little Pokédex, but I think that was made by Tiger. That was like a little toy thing that has info on the Pokemon. And then they released that little Pokewalker with, I think it was the Soul Silver and Heart Fire game, yeah, Heartfire. This looks like it's something kind of like the Vita, except it's more of a simplified Vita. But then again, this looks a lot like that mini Game Boy Advance that they had for a while, but with a bigger screen. So I think this has piqued a lot of interest and curiosity. I'll be curious to hear when more info is released on this, because I'm gonna be curious about this. A gamer in Japan has posted a picture which indicates that the 3DS can be used as a Wii U controller for Smash Bros. Kyle McLean posted the image below along with the tweet, "Am I crazy, or does this say that if you connect your 3DS with your Wii U that you can use your 3DS as a controller?" Several users confirmed this translation of the Japanese on-screen text, as did IGN. We'll have to wait for official confirmation from Nintendo to see if this is real, but it looks convincing. I wouldn't have any issue with this. I mean, it makes sense. The Super Smash Bros. Game is coming out for both 3DS and Wii U. So it would make sense for there to be some kind of function to connect to the Wii U with your 3DS as long as you have a copy of the game. And to be honest, that's a smart thing to do. Especially when the Wii U system only allows for one gamepad control. So this kind of gives other players options to have their own little kind of gamepad, but with a 3DS. So this would be an awesome idea if this is official, which it could be. I mean, right now, the Super Smash Bros. Game is released in Japan, so this could be 100% real. A leaked image of a reservation card from retailer Fred Meyer may have revealed the release date for the Wii U version of Super Smash Bros. The image posted by Twitter user Blues Drivebuster depicts a reservation card with a November 21st release date printed in large text. It should be noted that no official release date for Super Smash Bros. On Wii U has been announced by Nintendo, and the card does say that the displayed image is subject to change. There is some merit to it, however. Nintendo's original release window for the game was winter 2014, and it does coincide with Nintendo's knack for releasing games on a Friday. One thing I did try to look up is this whole Fred Meyer thing that this little card leak has been from. Apparently Fred Meyer is like a different version of Walmart, but it apparently also merged with Kroger. This could be accurate. I mean, this could be as close to an official date that we're going to get right now before Nintendo does give us a video, or I guess a video direct telling us otherwise. Which, November 21st is kinda in the winter time frame, I think. The Ice Climbers were removed from the upcoming Super Smash Bros. After the development team was unable to get the duel to run properly on 3DS, lead developer Masahiro Sakurai wrote in a column for Famitsu, spotted by Nintendo Everything. According to Sakurai, the team had the Ice Climbers running on the Wii U version of the game, but were unable to find the same success on 3DS due to the handheld's hardware limitations. Sakurai notes that the series' lack of popularity made the decision to cut them from the game easier. He goes on to write that Smash Bros. Was being released later on Wii U than 3DS to allow more time for debugging. Had the two versions shared a release date, they may not have been released until 2015, he added. So, according to this, the Ice Climbers characters were doing well on the Wii U version of the Super Smash Bros. Game, but they were having issues with the 3DS version because of its current limitations, which might not have been that bad considering that they announced a new 3DS coming out. The popularity of the Ice Climbers hasn't exactly been that good. I mean, of course they have some fans from them being in the Smash Bros. Game, but that's probably about it. And I do agree what he said on here about if they released both versions on a shared release date, it would have been next year. Probably, I don't know, maybe early next year. Upcoming PlayStation 4 exclusive DriveClub has an install size around 17 gigabytes, according to the game's director. Paul Roskowski took to Twitter to answer fans' questions following the news last week that the game has gone gold in preparation for its immediate release. He later added that you will only need to download the first 3.5 gigabytes in order to start playing, with the rest being managed in the background. Elsewhere, PS Blog manager Fred Dutton confirmed some interesting news about the PlayStation Plus edition of the racer. While we knew it was coming alongside the regular version of the game in October, it apparently won't be counted as part of our regular PlayStation Plus allocation for the month, meaning we should still expect another 2 PlayStation 4 games to be available for subscribers next month too. On the plus side, they are giving us enough warning about how many gigabytes this takes to fully install, and the fact that you only need to download the first 3.5 gigabytes to start playing. I also like the fact that the PlayStation Plus edition will not be counted as one of the 2 PlayStation Plus games that you get free. So technically we'll be getting 3 free games in October. Microsoft may be working on a streaming service that allows Xbox One and Xbox 360 games to be played on PC, a report suggests. The games, which would be playable in players' browsers, could possibly be played at around 60 frames per second, as a source told NeoWin. The same streaming service would run the Xbox 360 dashboard in players' browsers. A downside, however, is that Microsoft may have some obstacles to overcome in the licensing area. This service could cut into publishers' PC game sales. Microsoft has been working on a research project called Out of Time, which uses Doom 3 and Fable 3 for cloud gaming. As Game Industry Picks points out, this could allow Microsoft to compete directly with PlayStation Now, Sony's streaming service that is still in beta as of now. Microsoft has yet to confirm whether the streaming project is indeed underway. There's probably numerous issues with this. Of course, the licensing issues is going to be one of the major issues. Another one is how powerful is your PC going to have to be to play some of these games, especially the Xbox One games. I mean, of course, there's going to be some 360 games that are going to be way more powerful than the Xbox One games. That's because of all the content that's probably going to be on it. Mostly the ones that were multiple discs. But this does raise a lot of questions which hopefully Microsoft will be able to answer at some point. After last week's report of an acquisition of Minecraft developer Mojang, the news is now official. Microsoft has confirmed the news in a post on the company's internal Xbox blog. In a press release, the company confirmed a purchase price of $2.5 billion with an expected break-even in the current fiscal year. Microsoft has immediately put to rest any concerns about the continued availability of the game on other platforms. If you enjoy Minecraft on PlayStation consoles, PC, iOS, and Android, you'll be able to continue doing so. Minecraft has been an enormous hit for the once tiny Mojang, and the title now has over 100 million downloads on PC. Microsoft reports that over 2 billion hours have been played on the Xbox 360. As for the reasoning behind the acquisition, Minecraft experiences enormous loyalty, according to the press release. Over 90% of paid PC users have signed in at some point over the past year. As many expected, company founders, including Marcus Notch Pearson, are leaving the company. On Mojang's website, the departures are confirmed. The founders, Notch, Carl, and Jacob, are leaving, the company says. We don't know what they're planning. It won't be Minecraft related, but it will probably be cool. The Minecraft players have taken the game and turned it into something that surpassed all of our expectations. The acquisition by Microsoft brings a new chapter to the incredible story of Minecraft, said Carl Manath, CEO of Mojang, in Microsoft's press release. As the founders move on to start new projects, we believe the high level of creativity from the community will continue the game's success far into the future. So it actually is official now. Microsoft owns Minecraft and Mojang. And the founders of Mojang have packed up their stuff and left. And I wouldn't blame them. I don't think they wanted a company like Microsoft to buy this. But with them having so many issues with the multiplayer stuff on the PC, I guess it's trying to maybe help it along? I don't know. How's this going to affect the other versions of Minecraft? I mean, obviously Microsoft is going to be doing major stuff with the PC, 360, and Xbox One version, but what's this going to mean for the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and there was supposed to be a Vita version coming out. Does this change things or not? The very start of Destiny might feel a bit like a standard shooter to many, but according to executive producer Patrick O'Kelly, the multiplayer-driven sci-fi shooter becomes an entirely different experience once the player reaches the level cap of 20 and can begin to experience the endgame missions and objectives. I think what players will find is that the game unfolds and transforms over time, O'Kelly told Xbox Wire. In the first hour, it might feel like a familiar shooter. Then, players will start to see other players in the world. They will undertake cooperative and competitive activities without really worrying about it. Or they might keep on a solo journey, but partake in public events. Eventually, they'll go to the tower and learn some of the mechanics to improve their character. They'll make decisions about character customization and ability customization. O'Kelly claims that Destiny is an evolving experience, a game that requires some time to sink into. He promises that those who take the time to do so will be rewarded with a sense of community and progression. 20 hours in, and I think that players will find that they've evolved to playing a whole different kind of game than the shooter that started them off, he says. They'll find they're immersed in a different world and are deep into the history of their characters. They'll have built a community of other players, and without realizing it, they'll have learned some philosophical mechanics that enable them to gear up and dive into a 6-player cooperative raid in pursuit of high-level exotic weapons and armor. Now, this is a major issue with every game. Once players get to what they think is the end game, they just give up on the game. They never go back to it. But Destiny does more than just have an end game with the level cap of 20. So some people probably get frustrated that they aren't leveling, they aren't able to level, but no, that they have to actually explore stuff. They got to figure out more stuff, and it does transform and unfold when you give it time. You have to give it time, and you have to dig into the game. And indeed, it does become more than just your typical shooter that you start off with. It becomes a lot more. Destiny will be getting updated frequently, adding and tweaking major and small elements of the game as we move forward. The latest update falls into the small category. The latest patch offers the following changes: engineering, fixes for Xbox One boot flow issues, changes in network configuration to improve stability, fixes for issues causing game crashes. Events. Public events should occur twice as frequently in public space. Supporting games never stops. The most recent hotfix went live. More are to come. Small tweaks, but ones that will help the game run smoother for many. This game is going to have many updates and patches, especially for players who still continue playing it. I mean, as it says right here, there's going to be small ones and major ones. More or less updating and tweaking little bits and pieces inside the game. And this one right here is just a little small one, but it still has some major issues that it does solve, or tries to solve. Mortal Kombat X controllers for Xbox One and PlayStation 4 have been spotted. Alex Jabali, community manager for Iron Galaxy Studios, spotted the Xbox One Mortal Kombat controller at GameStop Expo 2014 and posted images of it on his Instagram. The photos also revealed packaging for a PlayStation 4 Mortal Kombat X controller. PDP fight pads for next-generation systems are those like the 6-button pads, pending approval, Jabali posted. This controller includes an analog stick in favor of larger buttons and a shorter right handle. Now, this is a nice little thing that was leaked from the GameStop Expo that they had this year. Controllers for Mortal Kombat X for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. And from the image here, it looks like Scorpion is on the box art for the Xbox One controller, and possibly Sub-Zero for the PlayStation 4 controller. But yeah, it's weird that they are going to be including a analog stick instead of D-pad. And this is like your other, I guess, fight sticks or fight pads that they made previously. It's going to be a lot like those. 6 buttons, analog stick. I mean, is okay if you're wanting to only play fighting games with it. Overall, I don't know. Plus, I will be curious to see how much this controller costs. Hopefully it won't be too expensive. WWE 2K15 has been delayed on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One to November 18th in North America and November 21st in Europe, 2K has announced. The next generation installment of the popular franchise was originally expected on October 28th in North America and October 31st in Europe. The PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 versions will still launch on those dates. Visual Concepts and Yuke's are committed to delivering the most authentic and action-packed WWE experience to date, including release for the very first time on next-generation consoles, said Visual Concepts President Greg Thomas, President. The additional development time enables our talented teams to ensure the WWE 2K15 next-gen experience fully meets our expectations. So yeah, all this is telling us that there's going to be a delay on the new generation version of WWE 2K15. Now, the 360 and PlayStation 3 versions are still going to be on time, on October 28th. Well, October 31st in Europe. I've heard from some people who went to the GameStop Expo and tried playing this. A lot of people thought it was crap. So hopefully they try to fix some things on it. Because when I actually saw gameplay footage and the whole control thing and stuff, and you actually got a life bar on the bottom of the screen now. An actual life bar. They're going to be trying some new things with this, which hopefully won't be too much of a miss, too much of a disappointment, too much... Okay, it probably is going to be a big disappointment. Alright, now for the major new releases of this week, or the past new releases that happened this week. We have Cooking Mama 5, Bon Appetit for the Nintendo 3DS. Theorhythm Final Fantasy Curtain Call for the Nintendo 3DS. Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm Revolution on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. Run Like Hell on the Vita. And Kickbeat Special Edition for the Wii U. So, that is going to be it for this episode of Action Video Game Talk. Once again, thanks for watching or listening. I will, like normal, put down a link down below if you want to check out the Facebook page. Also, put down any comments that you want down in the comment section. I will be posting the separate clips later on if you want to check those out. So, until next time, bye!